Hi, my documentary will revolve around North Korea, its past events, and a recap of events this past year. My documentary is styled in the format like the Draw My Life videos on YouTube, where I will draw most of the documentary. Hope you guys enjoy. For this documentary, we're going to need to bring out the big guns to present this. Now without further ado, let's pop this in and get this started. First, we will open the history book and go through a quick history of the Koreas. Korea is a peninsula country in East Asia. For this project, we will focus on North Korea. Korea was inhabited by large countries around it, such as China and Japan before World War II. During World War II, Japan increased its forces in Korea and forced China to move away from Korea. President Truman of the United States decided to take matters in his own hands when Japan's power got out of hand. Japan's forces were removed from the area after World War II, and Japan surrendered the war. They were no longer part of the equation for Korea. However, Stalin of Russia, also called the Soviet Union back then, had interests on northern Korea. Truman, fearing the spread of communism to the south, defended southern Korea. Stalin had talks with northern Korean leader Kim Il-sung about communism and wanted to spread it. Kim Il-sung led his communism views in the north, and Truman led his democratic views in the south. Political beliefs were divided onto 30 parallel, where there was a division north and south, sharing communism and democratic views. Eventually, the two views clashed, and that division caused a split in the country, giving birth to North and South Korea. North Korea was led by Kim Il-sung, backed up by communism. South Korea was backed up by President Truman of the United States of America. North Korea and South Korea, with the US on its side, battled and created a war now called the Korean War. There were countless bombings and countless murders, creating many deaths across the border. Most importantly, a lot of children suffered, for their parents died from the result of this war. Families were torn because of this war. Many had to decide to leave or stay with their family, or it will be the last time they would ever see each other again. In all, it was not a pretty sight for either side. Throughout this war, everyone wondered when the brawl between these countries would finally end, along with the destruction. The countries finally said, "Stop. Let's end this," and they agreed. They decided to settle it with something called an armistice. So what's an armistice? According to the dictionary, armistice is defined as an agreement by opposing sides of a war to stop fighting for a certain time. So this was not a peace treaty. Therefore, the Korean War never officially ended. However, after the Korean War, everything cooled down, and everything was mainly peaches and cream. South Korea became a great country with great food, big phones, and a lot of pop culture. However, the North became a country full of communism, torture, and hunger. And that there wraps up the history of North Korea. Now let's talk about current events from the past year. Food production has gone up by 5%. However, 83% of the population is still poor. and 70% of the population still rely on governments for staple foods. And many are still very malnourished. Many people may ask, why doesn't the world just give them food? Well, that was the thing going on in the past, but now many countries don't support North Korea's policies, such as the new nuclear program. To know more, let's take an insight on this video.
It has been nearly 2 decades since one of the most devastating famines of the 20th century hit North Korea, taking 500,000 to 1 million lives across the country from the mid to late 1990s. Crop harvests in the reclusive socialist country have steadily increased since early 2000, but many people in the nation continue to suffer from chronic food shortage and malnutrition. Total food production in North Korea is estimated to reach around 5 million metric tons in 2013, up 5% from a year ago. It shows that the food production increased for 3 years in a row.
금년에는 그 홍수가 좀 났습니다만은 상당히 가볍게 지나갔습니다. 그래서 금년은 전반적으로 기상 여건이 굉장히 좋았다 이렇게 평가를 하고요. 또 농자재 공급도 비교적 원활했다고 하는 것이 금년 그 작황 호조의 중요한 요인으로 이렇게 평가됩니다.
Inadequate food consumption also remains a key challenge in the country, with 84% of households left without enough food to eat.
The overall food production has increased for the 3rd year in a row, but most of the people still do not get the right thing to eat. The diet of people is mainly composed of cereals, missing out of proteins and fats and vitamins and minerals. Almost 74% of the children under 2 years old do not eat the right number of food groups they should in order to grow and grow properly. For pregnant women and nursing mothers, around half do not have adequate food diversity.
As many as 7.6 million North Koreans were estimated to be undernourished from 2011 to 2013, representing 31% of the country's total population. Such a food gap is the narrowest in many years, but it looks hard for the rogue totalitarian country to bridge the gap amid ongoing concerns over its nuclear ambition.
보다 본질적으로 식량 문제를 해결하기 위해서는 외부에서 지원과 재원이 들어와야 되는데 북한의 핵실험, 미사일 발사 등으로 인해서 북한에 대한 부정적 인식이 팽배되어 있는 상황에서 최근 현상을 보면 북한에 대한 그 인도적 지원이나 원조들은 줄어드는 것으로 파악되고 있습니다. 북한 당국이 보다 국제적인 원칙에 부합하는 방향으로 지원하는 단체나 국가에 대해서 접근과 분배 모니터링, 그 다음에 결과 평가를 할 수 있도록 개방을 해야 될 것으로 보입니다.
It is time for North Korean authorities under Kim Jong-un's leadership to take tangible steps that could allow all North Koreans to have equal access to food. The regime should reform its system and change its political and diplomatic stance if it truly cares about the living standards of the ordinary people other than the elite class.
Next we'll talk about North Korea's abuse on human rights. North Korea is seen as one of the most abusive governments for its citizens. This can be shown in examples such as unsupported executions, torture, imprisonment in the country, and forced abortions. We'll take insight on a video clip to know more about the situation.
고스란히 끌고 와서 뒷손 묶고 그냥 입 봉하고 사형장을 나왔단 말이에요.
우리 아버님뿐만 아니라 510명 가족 납치된 분들은 전부 돌려보내야 된다고 저는 생각합니다.
일이 꼭 잘 이루어지게 해서 우리가 소식이라도 듣고 하게 도와주십시오.
On the 17th of February, the United Nations released what it called an unprecedented report on the state of human rights in the most secretive state in the world, North Korea. concluded that systematic, widespread and gross human rights violations have been and still are being committed by the country officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and that in many cases these violations constituted crimes against humanity. Crimes including systematic torture, starvation and mass killings bordering on genocide. And as a result of this, it recommended that the UN Security Council consider referring North Korea to the International Criminal Court at The Hague. But while the report concluded that North Korea's human rights violations are unparalleled anywhere else in the modern-day world, the chairman of the team that carried out the findings said they were similar to the crimes committed by the Nazis in World War II.
내가 일단 언성 단련대에 나가게 되면 여자들만 이제 피 검사를 해요. 임신했나 뭐 성병 왔나 이런 걸로 그렇게 검사하고 이제 임신한 사람들은 이제 다 유산시키는데 이제 그 일하러 가갖고 이제 여자들 우선 임신한 여자들 그런 데를 일하러 많이 보내거든요. 이제 일하러 가갖고 그 힘든 이 산길 있잖아요. 짐 지고 올라갔다 내려갔다 올라갔다 막 이렇게 일을 시키거든요. 그럼 제대로 막 유산되잖아요.
In an unprecedented act, the inquiry's chairman, Michael Kirby, has written to the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and warned him that any official who commits, orders, solicits or aids and abets crimes against humanity incurs criminal responsibility by international law, and that he himself could face trial at the International Criminal Court at The Hague. So what now? Well, in its report, the UN makes many recommendations to both North Korea itself and to China and other states. But given that North Korea and China both reject the report's conclusions, it's pretty unlikely we'll see them taking these recommendations on board anytime soon. If anything, the unprecedented warning and telling off given to Kim Jong-un by the UN is likely to make relations between the isolated country and the rest of the world, in particular the West, even worse, and could make efforts to get North Korea to rein in its nuclear weapons program even trickier.
The next issue is a little interesting and revolves around marijuana. Apparently in North Korea, weed is 110% legal. This is because Kim Jong-un's policy does not treat it as a drug. I found this ironic because some countries such as the USA take it a little bit more strictly. Also, the country with the least amount of food also has the most amount of citizens with the munchies. So is this necessarily a bad thing? Well, that's controversial. A North Korean tourist stated that it was very easy to obtain marijuana. He was able to go to the market and get a grocery bag full of weed for roughly less than $1. In fact, it even grows on the sides of roads, and people grow in their backyards quite commonly. So the only issue lies in this question: does Kim Jong-un make absurd decisions when he's high? The world may never know. We will now move on to our most important issue. North Korea has launched 3 rockets in the span of 8 years. So what exactly is North Korea plotting? North Korea also recently started up a nuclear reactor, so who knows what they'll be plotting with that too. It might be malicious. And some people like Obama probably won't like it. Most importantly, they don't want to start another war. So does North Korea have what it takes to win a war? Probably not. Many people may ask, why don't we just go over to North Korea and kill Kim Jong-un or found the country? The problem lies in North Korea's strongest and only ally, China, who acts as North Korea's babysitter / bodyguard. So if anyone tries to provoke North Korea, China won't like that, and will have to face China also, which is not what anyone wants. My perspective on North Korea changed over the year. In the beginning of the year, I found a dislike for North Korea. However, throughout the project, I found sympathy for the North Korean citizens. At the end, I found a dislike for Kim Jong-un despite his majesty and the government. Okay, so why should we care? Well, let's take a look on today's media and internet. As you can see, many people are not taking North Korea seriously, and some countries share this perspective. Nonetheless, North Korea has a great potential to be a large threat to today's world, and may be plotting a major conflict. Our focus should rely on guaranteeing the freedoms of the citizens of North Korea, for they are being mistreated very poorly. With the contribution of many, we can help save the citizens of North Korea. So in conclusion, North Korea has had a shaky start entering this world. There's been a lot of fighting and destruction. North Korea has been doing a little bit better in their economy than previous years. North Korea's government is unique. It has interesting policies, and may in fact be the strongest government towards its citizens. North Korea may be able to take a strong stand against today's society. We don't know what North Korea may be plotting, although we should not be surprised if it is for bad intentions. The future of North Korea may be bleak, especially for citizens, but I have hope that one day the government will no longer have ill intentions and everyone will have the freedoms that they were meant to have. I hope everyone enjoyed this project just as much as I did doing it. Thank you.